want to say that we want to welcome you, and we want to say that we're so happy that you're here. And the reason why I think, Ale, you were suggesting that we take a picture, I think we remember when we were going through the Institute of Dr. Shivali Zavadi, she was asking us to take a picture in the beginning. And the reason for that was that after, well, a certain journey together, we will not be the same people. And it's actually quite interesting to witness this transformation. So if you take a picture now, and hopefully we are going this journey together throughout the following months, so then you can see how you evolve and how you change and how your life actually changes as well.
Yeah, thank you, Anjali, for taking the picture for all of us. Yeah.
That's a good idea as well.
Yeah, and actually we want to connect this photo like with the conversation that we are going to have throughout today, but let's wait for a few moments to see if somebody else is going to join us. And yeah.
Then we can start. While we are waiting, can we just say a couple of words where everybody is calling from? I can start. I'm based in Belgium, so I live in Antwerp, and this is where I'm calling from.
And I'm from Sofia at the moment. I'm in Bulgaria.
I'm in Albany, New York, upstate New York.
Yeah.
Oh, we're close. I'm in Little Falls in New Jersey. It's like 30 minutes outside of the city, New York
Oh,
City.
I was just in Jersey for a concert.
Oh,
We should
nice.
meet next time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm in Norway.
Hey, Cynthia. How cold is it there?
No, no, it's not so cold. It's just there is just a lot of rain now, but
Yeah.
not so cold.
Yeah.
And maybe with one
Yeah.
word,
They'll have one more person, I think.
it's Chrissy.
Hi.
Chris, there, where are you calling from? Tell us.
I'm calling from Sofia, Bulgaria as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you with one word to say where you're right now in your journey, if you can use one word, or what's coming up for you today, just to ground yourself a little bit.
You can also put it in the chat. I think we have something in the chat.
I can share, for me, the word probably today is growth.
For me, it's connection, because we are starting this journey of growth, connecting with each other.
For me, it is clarity and expansion.
Yeah, it's nice you're in the same area with Adele. She's also
Yeah.
in expansion. Very
I
cute.
put expansion and I'm feeling also inspired.
Mm.
Okay, I think, yeah, no, I think we can start slowly.
Let's go for it. Again, so lovely to have you here. Our intention with this community is that great women like you, we connect and we help each other to grow, because we truly believe that 1 + 1 is more than 2. 1 + 1 is a million, actually, because we are growing and we're learning much better and much stronger when we are together. So that is the intention why we had why we are starting this, and it will be we will evolve together as you are also feeding, your questions or your ideas. So really happy to have you. Before we go into the topic of today, we have a super interesting topic, and it's something that we do not often think about as we will go through it today. And that is the 3 stages of development. And we have the connection, the differentiation, and the separation. But before we go into that, I would like to first take a just one word from everybody on the expectations, because I said a little bit why we are together and why we're starting this community, but I just wanted to take from you a little bit your expectations, what expectations you might have. I mean, you might have nothing, and you, as an expectation, you just come here, you say, okay, I'm just open for it. That's also good enough. So if you feel like sharing, it would be lovely to hear.
Yeah, I'm new here. Like, I just saw in the email a group meeting and I was like, okay, let me join and see what it's about. So I have no expectations. I'm not really sure what we're gonna do or how it's gonna evolve.
Yeah, but you come with the open mind.
Yes, open.
Where it
Yes.
takes. Love it. Anyone else would like to share or?
And Cynthia, she's also very open at the moment, open-minded.
Yeah.
And because before Diana starts with the concept, because I always like to provoke people at the beginning, I love this. It's kind of metaphor, the chains of love. And for me, this talk is about the chains of love and how it connects to conscious parenting. And my intention for today's call is just to poke you a little bit and to try to awaken you a little bit further and to make you aware of different things that we are going to discuss. And also to see where love nurtures, but sometimes it may unintentionally hold our children back, or unintentionally we can prevent of partnering better. So the concept today is trying to enrich your idea about conscious parenting. Yeah. And the first stage of the relationships, Diana is going to take the responsibility to discuss it with you. It's the attachment, the connection. And it is where we first meet somebody. It's where we create this trust and safety and openness. And think of it like relationship. I want you to think of it, it's the same in our conversation. Like today, we start the conversation. So we are now at this point where we connect to each other. And some of you know us from before, for the we are new, but we all today, like in every meeting that we have today, every meeting that we encounter, we connect first. So yeah, Diana, you can.
Yes, yes. But it's such an interesting reflection, because these three stages of first connecting, then differentiating, and then separating, it's not only about the child development, but it's also about stages that we're going through every single day. Like Ayla, you were saying, if you take this conversation and this Zoom call that we're having, we have the connection moment, then we we have different ideas about the topic, the differentiation, and then we separate at the end. So it's something that we go through multiple times even during the day. But if you, we are also going to look at it a little bit through the lens of parent-child as well, but also know that how we are behaving and how we are going through these stages with our children is often how we have it in every single relationship as well. So just, use it as a mirror, and maybe to ask yourself, how is also the relationship with my partner, with my friend, with my child. It could be with anybody really. So maybe we start with the connection. And when Ale and I were preparing this topic for today, we had this reflection that there's so much talk about connection nowadays. And it is important, of course. And I think all of you are very deep into the conscious parenting. If I'm wrong, just let me know. But I think all of you have read a lot about conscious parenting. Yes, yes. Yes. So I don't need to explain in this call that the connection is the core of of conscious parenting because we have always first the connection and then the correction or whatever we need to do, right? So it is super important. So we don't need to kind of make this clear for us. But what I'm curious to hear from you is when you hear the word connection between parent and child, what is it for you personally? What does it mean that you're connected to your child? You can speak up or you can type in the chat, whatever feels comfortable for you. Just to take it from there.
I would say for me, the biggest piece has been attunement, like to attune to my daughter moment by moment based on, her needs, based on her essence, her temperament, and aligning them all, and then help her, to also know like how to live in this world, like bringing it all together. Like, for example, if she has to go, like, can I share an example?
Yeah, quickly, please, Angela.
Yeah. Okay, sure. No, I can share it later. So yeah, that's my response. That's fine. I can share that later.
And that's lovely. And what I liked about what you said is that the attunement moment by moment. I have a very quick question for you. What does attunement do for her? How does she feel when she receives that from you?
She feels seen, helped,
Exactly.
and to know that it's okay the way she is, just the way she is, it's just totally fine. And her feelings and whatever is coming up for her, it's all valid. There is nobody trying to fix her and tell her to be a certain way. She is just the way she is, and that is being honored. And she
Yeah.
just feels that the world is a beautiful place.
Yeah, that is so rare, right? That we manage every moment to attune to them, and that is such a treasure for our children. But what you also said is she feels that the world is a safe place. It basically
Hmm.
forms how they look at the world, you know. So,
Yeah.
any other reflection? Thanks, Anjali. What is connection for you? And how do we do it? So
I
you
can-
said
sorry, go.
Yeah, I was just saying that, Angela, you mentioned attunement, right? So we have this attunement part, we have the empathy, we have the connection through empathy and attunement. You wrote through play as well. Chinze, you're saying open mind, listening, listening in all form, energetically, emotionally, and physically. Absolutely. So just being there without even speaking, right? So that's what you're saying. We don't have to speak all the time. We just need to attune. And Adele, for you, it's presence and co-regulation. And co-regulation is such an important topic, right? Because this is when we there as a parent have the presence and the calmness so that our children can kind of take it from us and co-regulate with us. So, I mean, you know quite a lot about connection. What I wanted to share, maybe Ale, you also wanted to add something, but before that, maybe I just wanted to share something that I thought was a beautiful metaphor, and it is from Dr. Bruce Perry. And he's talking about the importance of early attachment and safety. I don't know if any of us have any young children or babies like until 2 years old. I guess not, but maybe for the listeners, because we are recording this call, I just wanted to mention that this early attachment and safety matters so much for the baby, but also for their brain development. So what he's saying is that the baby's brain is like a house being built one floor at a time, and the foundation is laid in the very first years of life, and that matters a lot. And that foundation is the connection and the safety. So when we all respond to the babies, when they cry, when we hold them, when we comfort them, we show them love and care. They have this message of what you are also referring to, Anjali. I'm safe, I'm loved, and my needs are met. And then because they're regulated, they don't have any stress hormones running all the time in their little bodies. Their stress system learns that to calm down after being upset, and the emotional brain grows stronger and stronger because it is not overwhelmed by fear. So the thinking brain develops because it has better focus and empathy. So I just wanted to kind of come back to this. And what really struck me a lot is that this early kind of brain connections are made as early as soon as they're born, even before they're born, and especially during the first 2 months of their life. So I just wanted to kind of throw this in there because it's such a fascinating, I think, thing how it's all connected. Feeling safe and developing the brain development. Ale, you wanted to jump in.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell because I see like I think all of you three. I want to ask you after the call, go and connect deeper with us. Go to the community and put. I think you have the email, and we'll forward it again if needed. But go to the community that we have created because over there we have a handout before this call, and it's about the Little Prince. And I wanted to give you one quote from there. I'm sure you know it, but I'm sure you never thought about it in this direction. And it's one sees clearly only with the heart, and what is essential is invisible to the eye. And this stage is about, actually, it's about first connection, building trust and emotional safety. And the quote for me, it reminds us that true connection isn't based on appearances, but on inner essence and the foundation of trust. And it's just like early parenting, just like Diana said, or first encounters. The focus is on the emotional safety and seeing the heart of the other person. So this was kind of our response about connection, but it's a very beautiful handout and I think you will find it interesting. So use all our resources. And there is also one other quote. It's also from the Little Prince. It's, if you want a friend, tame me. And I love this quote, and it's helping a lot in partnerships as well, because this is the invitation to connect, and it has this choice to build trust and create safety. And it expresses also the vulnerability of entering a relationship for the first time. So I love how it captures the encounter and the trust. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And because the time is going, I think we don't want to spend at this moment too much more time on that first stage, connection. I think it is the first couple of years of a person's life, but of course it is important throughout the whole life that we are tuning all the time, like Anjali was saying. But the other two stages, and I think Ale, you will talk more in detail about these two, the differentiation and the separation, is something that we found not enough is said. We tend to talk more about connection, but we actually forget to give the importance of the other two stages. And I think it would be good to move on so that we have enough time for those ones.
Yeah, the only thing probably that I would like to add about the connection, it happens like when we perceive like child development, it happens in the first years. Yeah, maybe from 0 to 3. This is the period when we build trust and attachment. I say maybe because somewhere around 1.5, the children start to form also their identity. So it's trust and attachment from 0 to 3, but there is also another process happening as well. And I wanted to say, yeah, bonding and connection is super important. It's the sweetest stage. It's the most amazing. When we are in a relationship, this is the stage that we want to be always. But if we never move beyond it, this is where the WAF can become chains and holding the child too tightly, or to holding the partner too tightly. And this is where we have big trouble with teenagers as well, because we are not allowing enough space for independence. So for me, each stage requires like attention, let's say. So the second part of the relationship is the part called differentiation. And it's about discovering identity, individuality, while staying in the relationship. Right now, in the moment, like if we perceive our conversation, we are connecting. We are all coming from conscious parenting. But then we are individuals and we each have like different thoughts, different beliefs, different values. So this is where the differentiation begins. And I think it's very important when we start to be aware and start to grow and to learn how to accept the other identity, the other beliefs, the other person. And it's important also in our relationship with our children. And when children start, like the first stage, when they start to have identity, many parents struggle with the 2-year-old because they start to have their own beliefs, their own needs. And it repeats the same when the child becomes a teenager. And this is where it's because we are, as adults, we are not ready for this differentiation part. We don't like it, and we don't like it because we rarely have the model from our house. We don't know how to differentiate from the other. And again, if I go back to The Little Prince, my quote here, it is the time you have wasted for your roles that makes your role so important. So yes, you waste your time for your partner or for your child, but this quote shows that what makes the rose special to the prince is the unique time, the unique effort and attention this individual spends and gives as a contribution. And it highlights the differences in the choices we make and our personal meaning that we put into this relationship. So this is the heart of the differentiation. I'm me, you're you, and our connection has a meaning because of what I bring into it and what you bring into it. Yeah, so
Maybe here, Ale, if I just jump in quickly with just one quick reflection. If we think about it, when we are clashing with our children,
mhm.
is it because then we are really struggling to in this stage? I mean, this is when they have a different kind of view or opinion, and or with any other person.
Yeah, many times it's exactly because we don't know what to do, and we have a lot of fear around somebody having a different opinion, because we think he's going to take over us. And it happens because in many families it will be perfect if we are not enmeshed in the family, and if we allow our children to create their own identity. But because we have so much fear all the time, we consistently try to put all our beliefs to the child. And like Dr. Shefali explains many times, this is how we create the ego as well, actually. So yeah. Once the bond feels safe, differences appear. And yeah, this is very important thing. When the connection is very good, this like when the child mother, and it's the mother who forms like at the beginning this connection. When the connection is very good, actually you have more space to develop your identity. Because if the connection is not good, then you feel not safe enough. And what I observe in my practice is actually the children who have the best connection with their parents, mom and dad, and the children who go good through the differentiation part, they very easily go to kindergarten. So they very easily separate. And it repeats the same in teenagehood. When they have good experience with connection and good identity, they don't have problem like leaving to college. What happens is when the connection, it might seem very well developed, but when there is codependency, what happens, we don't easily differentiate with the other person, so it's almost impossible to separate. And this is where the anxiety forms. And you can think about yourself as well, because in different stages of my life, for me, connection was always easy, differentiation also, but separation was a very difficult thing. We'll go soon in the separation. And the more work I did on myself, the more growth I did. Now separation is actually a very, very simple process. It's not that scary, it's not that complicated, but let's wait a little bit about it.
So what you're saying basically, Alia, is that it depends on so the connection is like the basis for everything.
Mhm.
And the connection is the first foundation and floor. And the stronger it is, the easier it is then to accept and to go through differentiation. And the easier it is to also go through separation.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in this differentiation, once the bond feels safe, differences appear, and each person expresses their own needs, boundaries, and opinions. And this is where we struggle to put boundaries, because when we were little children, for many of us, it was like this: our needs were not heard, our opinions were not accepted, so we don't know how to create this boundary. And this is where it feels challenging, and this is where we need to grow. And a lot of times parents, I will give you like just very brief examples, like for parenting, you would say to a toddler no, and you will insist this toddler to do something the way you want it. But this is actually how we don't, like for choosing clothing, choosing food, whatever it is. But this is where we don't allow the child to say what the child needs. And this is where we break the child and we don't allow the child to learn how to put his own boundaries. And this is where we need to relearn. And it happens the same in a relationship. Partners realize they have different habits, for example, different values, and they need to negotiate without losing the connection. And usually for many adults, it's very difficult. We think if we have different values, if we have different habits, then the connection is broken. This is where a lot of growth could happen. Maybe, Diana, if you have some
No,
reflection.
just a reflection that I think the moment it happens that we feel threatened by that, if somebody has a boundary or thinks differently or is different, the moment it happens, it is like for us, if we have not developed this strong connection to ourselves, or if we have not received as children the strong connection, it feels very threatening. So it's kind of always fear. Then in that moment, I think. I don't know how it feels, if this resonates with you, but that resonates with me a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe, ladies, if you have some thoughts, you can share as well.
It's almost like if my teenage child is rebelling against something I'm saying, I feel threatened by this instead of realizing, okay, they are their individuality, they have their, the only thing I can do is just be present and co-regulate, just help co-regulate in this moment.
Yeah.
Can I share something
Sure.
here? So, so in my own like journey of conscious parenting with my daughter, she's 8.5, and I think kids in today's time, even when they're 8 and 9, with the kind of exposure they have, I think you almost feel like you're living with a teenager, even though biologically they're not. So what I feel is that the main piece has been connection right from the beginning. It's connection and differentiation right from the beginning. The child doesn't need to know it. Like you are connecting with the child, embracing and loving them and attuning with them, all of that. But in your heart, you have to prepare for that differentiation right from the first moment. Like that has been my journey, that I had to know that she has come through me, but she's not here for me, right from the beginning. And that differentiation, even today, like I was saying, she's 8.5, almost 9. That helps me a lot because now she has developed an individuality, who she is. And I have to consistently tell her that, I sometimes even would tell her, and I make it a point that you don't have to be like me. You don't have to like this. Or sometimes I would tell her, I know mom has been very annoying because she didn't understand that you needed this space. So she understands that I honor it. And I had to do this work because, just like Alia said correctly, or Diana, you mentioned too, that we were not raised that way. So it's very important, and when you learn that, it's important that we always started like, literally from day one. Or even when they are like, it's prenatal, like even in the womb, you have to tell yourself this child is going to come through me, but they're not here for me. So that I think has really helped with honoring my own daughter's, differentiation with me. And I really celebrate it. I'm able to like really enjoy it, that and she knows it, that she can just be herself, and she's a complete opposite of me in so many ways.
It's beautiful. What you're saying is that through the connection, you're allowing the differentiation,
Hmm.
and they go hand in hand.
Yeah. What is
Yes.
actually happening like at the beginning, according to traditional psychology, but I don't know, in Europe it's slightly different probably. There is not so much difference between conscious parenting and traditional psychology, but at the beginning there is this symbiotic relationship because mom and child, they are one, the child is in your womb. So in the first 3 months, the child is really connected. It needs you, it needs like your body, touch, and everything. And very slowly it separates from you and start to differentiate. And for me, the real moment where the differentiation happens is if you had a little baby, at the beginning they see themselves in the mirror and they think it's somebody else. And it's exactly because they don't have the identity. So the psyche is not developed. And the moment the child realizes this is me in the mirror, and it's different for each child, this is the moment where this process really starts. And yeah, that's why it's super important stage in their development. And this is like when you work with parents, this is the stage where they need to start listening to the child and hearing more about their needs. This is where the child is ready to start separating. And of course, we need to differentiate according to the age group. But
Yeah.
yeah, we need to realize this child is already ready for this process.
It's almost
Right.
like a test young parents can use. Can my child see themselves in the mirror and now it's them?
Yeah.
Or not?
Actually, there is something very interesting that I taught, and I have a book, Connection, and in this book, I explain, because everybody is a mirror for us, and we are laughing so hardly to the babies that they don't recognize themselves in the mirror. But when we interact, even with our children, when I'm triggered, we don't also realize that's me in the mirror. We think it's somebody else. And I was thinking it's such a joke that life makes on us because we laugh at the little children, but we never realize we need to grow and evolve and listen to so many talks before we realize the other person we see in front of us, it's just our reflection.
Mm.
So
Yeah. I just wanted to add, as you were speaking about the, connection, differentiation, it reminds me of the idea of like attachment and authenticity. And so in the connection, we're really creating that attachment or attachment styles. And as we differentiate, we are connecting, like and for the young child, the young baby, we're connecting with our authenticity. And so if our attachment is threatened, we're not going to reach that stage of authenticity because we have to give up our needs to please our parents or whoever it is. And that's where, people pleasing comes in and all those, masks and behaviors.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And that's why authenticity is so important. And when I work with clients, what I see, it's not only with clients, like with other coaches, with other psychologists, what I see, they are so disconnected from their authentic self. They don't make the difference. It's so difficult for them to make the difference. Is this my authenticity, or these are just beliefs that I have from my family, but they are not mine? It's
Yeah.
and
One-
it's this is probably the hardest work that we need to do, is
Mhm.
really to reconnect. Yeah.
And I think it's for everybody. And I think because I think most of us have went through the institute also. Then you, of course, when you sit with yourself, when you observe yourself, you learn to notice these things. But I think for many people, you are just completely one with whatever beliefs or conditioning you have been through and you have adopted. So you don't really differentiate. It's like
Mhm.
you're one with that.
Mm.
Yeah. I would also say it's also cultural a lot. Like you said, in Europe, like conscious parenting and traditional parenting, there's not much difference. But I'm originally from India. In India, parents have no idea of differentiation and separation. Even when they're in their 40s and 50s, I've seen so many marriages break because parents are like in India, children are in America, they got married to somebody, they cannot stop interfering in their choices, in their, in the decisions they're making, even when they're 40, 50, 60. So they parents cannot, there is no concept of differentiation or separation. So when I was saying that, so because I come from that culture and I've learned from the Institute now as a coach, I know I suffered because of that. And that's why their voices are so glued into my system. So it's every day, moment by moment work asking, is it my voice or theirs? Is it my voice or theirs? So I knew very early on what I don't want to do with my child. So even though I was completely with my, I was completely connected with her right from the moment, you conceive them. But what I was saying was you have to also conceive that idea right from the beginning in your head because it's so deeply embedded in your system. Because you come from a country and a culture where separation and differentiation means you are insulting your parents. You're not
Mm,
taking care of them. It is rude. It's literally a sin. So it's also religious.
wow.
So
Yeah,
it's very deep.
I
Yeah, I'm
think
sorry.
one way or another, yeah, for some cultures it's deeper than for others, but I think one way or another it's the same all over the world. And now there is this change coming, and that's why we perceive young adults and teenagers as very complicated because they want to break this pattern. And
Mhm.
like I feel like there is an evolution stage at the moment happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, it's different from different culture, and some cultures struggle, like there is more pain, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Let's
love that.
talk-
I have a lot of, I'm sorry,
No, no,
Diana.
go
I
on.
was saying I agree with Alia because I think I see that's like even in the world of era of AI now when I work with like my clients or parents I speak with, I see so much hope for this generation because they're also spiritually very evolved. Like the kind of questions they ask early on, even as toddlers. Like I remember my daughter or other kids around me, they are asking very existential questions very early on. I remember at their age, I didn't know what to wear. Like, I wore what my mom told me to wear, but at their age, they're asking about life and death and growth and God. So they're questioning these things. So it is a very, like you, Alia said correctly, I think this is a stage of evolution, spiritual evolution. And it's going to be very interesting to see how I think the kids who are raised consciously and connected to themselves they will do very well in the age and era of AI, no matter what, because they will never lose themselves in
Yeah.
that. So this work is so important at this moment.
Beautifully said. Yeah.
And now we go to the most difficult stage.
Let's
And
do it. Yeah.
this is the separation. And the quote I have from The Little Prince again, it's you become responsible forever for what you have tempted. It's called detachment and separation. And again, our conversation at some point will end, so we need to separate. And it's about healthy independence while holding onto responsibility and respect. And on this stage, I think this is where most people get lost. And I hear many people talking about grief and the sensitiveness of the person. And partially, I do agree, but just partially because it's again this enmeshment that we are all used to. Because I've been myself also a very sensitive person, but like I said, years ago, I would separate very difficult, like struggling a lot. And today, like for example, my kids will go to college, my kids will go to vacation, my partner will go on a business trip for 2 days. It doesn't matter how long it is, but it's something that doesn't require really grief. If you're in complete abundance, if you're healthy, if you're going through the stages, if you were, then separation is not supposed to be difficult. And I see many people, like even psychologists in communities, like if they, like in the Shefali Institute, we are in the institute, and when we need to separate after 6 months, people struggle. And it's because we need to grow and to evolve more. So this quote, you become responsible forever for what you have tempted, illustrates that even when we let go physically, the bond continues in the form of lasting responsibility and care. And this reflects the psychological task of this stage, allowing independence without breaking love. We don't need to break the love. And in parenting, it's the moment where many of the coaches who are not here, but I saw like this September, me and Diana, we are experiencing first, for me, for some of my kids, for Diana, for her, both of her children are living home. So the connection continues, but each has their own path. And we just need to rebuild and to change our beliefs around separation. And yeah, this was the reason we want you to take this picture at the beginning of the conversation, because this month we believe it will change you. And what I wanted to explain is today it's one form of you, your old version, but in a month or even after this go, you'll be your future self. So I was thinking we can differentiate between the two. Maybe you can think about it, how you can differentiate from before the conversation and after the conversation, and how different you come.
So what you're basically implying, Ala, is that sometimes there is this inner resistance in us to become our new self. And sometimes we even experience this as this separation anxiety almost from the old self to step into the new self.
Yeah, this is another thing that yeah, this is the next step. This is where the resistance comes, because we need to say goodbye to the old version of us.
Mm.
And the moment we start separating more easily, this is the moment where we'll be able to change our beliefs like quicker, easier. We'll be able to transform. That's why we believe this conversation is so important. And another note that I want to make is every day, I'm coming back again to this conversation. Every day, even if you go to the grocery, you meet somebody, you connect, you pay the bill, you differentiate, maybe you can have a fight about the bill, I don't know. Then you leave the store. And subconsciously, if you have problems separating, you would lose so much energy every time you're leaving the store. You don't realize it, but the energy is gone. Or maybe you struggle in differentiation, so maybe you will fight about the bill like half an hour instead of hearing the other person. So for each person, I've met people who have problem with connecting, but there are people who have problem differentiating, and for some, the separation is the hardest. Each of one of us has one of them is most favorite, and one is the one that I don't want to go into. But we enter each of those stages on a daily basis.
And if you
this is
think
what
about
makes us so anxious, so frustrated, so afraid of living life. Yeah.
And if you think about it, if we have this resistance when it comes to separation, what is the deep underlying cause for that? It's always fear, of course, but what is the fear from about? Or
I can jump in. For me, it's like has to do with survival, right? I mean, that is the point of attaching with our babies. They need us to survive, especially when they're very young babies. And so I think that if we don't get that in childhood when we're young, that doesn't set us up very well for life. And it becomes much harder to access detachment because we've never experienced a safe attachment.
yeah.
So there's nothing to come back to. So detachment feels like in our body, feels like survival, feels like it could be death.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really said. It's almost like each time you have to say goodbye, you're again going through the same stress of, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, according to traditional psychology, at the end, all fears, like Shefali was saying, I want to be seen, heard, accepted, loved. But then at the end, they all go to the fear of death and existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the stronger we are in the foundation of connection, and I would then now say to ourselves, then the easier it would be to go through those stages with us, and with the situations in our life. So we have come back to the bottom line. We need to constantly work on ourselves again.
So yeah, the separation is the relationship. This is where the relationships in a way matures, and each person can stand alone without fear of losing the bond.
Mm.
And independence and love can coexist. This is when we grow. This is what happens. And healthy independence and autonomy while maintaining respect and connection. So we are constantly balancing and playing between the two.
Fine. You want to jump in?
Yeah, Anjali?
So I have a quick question about this. So we all understand this, after we do the work and we read the word, we get it. You understand that that's not true, right? That it is not about your death. And you can stand alone in your autonomy, even if when you reparent yourself, you rediscover your autonomy and your true essence, you know it. But so this has been my story. So that's how I feel it. Like I'm an immigrant. I moved to America 13 years ago. I felt like I was completely like uprooted from where I came from, had no friends, and when I came here, I had to deal with health issues, ostracism. It was very hard for me. Like in India, it was very easy for me to make friends. I thought that was my skill. And I was very good at it. So no matter how my childhood was, what my trauma was, I always had great friends. And I had great experiences. But when I came to America, it changed. And it's not the people from here, they were people from my own country because India is culturally so different state by state. So I never had, I'm somebody, I had no judgment because I used to do leadership trainings and I used to travel all across the country. I used to work with those people. So I thought it won't be such a big deal. But long story short, that for out of 13 years, I had to experience that bias and not knowing, obviously, for the first 10 years that, that, wow, I'm not connected to my own autonomy. But then I built it over the past, like, 4 or 5 years. But that fear, of separation, and because we're communal beings, we want to connect with the other. We want to be, to be able to speak our mind and still be seen, and have that space. I feel that that fear is still real, like in the real world as well, because isolation is scary. And I have been through that. I have an autoimmune disorder. I did all of that alone. And to not be seen for even what I had, I've healed now. So now that fear has become very deep inside of me. Even though I have done the work, I help my clients. I can see where they're coming from. I can strengthen them. But for myself, even if I have to share a need or a want that I think is totally relevant, and when it's expressed to the other, I fear it. So I'm just saying that I think we live in such a it's just become such a cultural thing that it's okay for people to isolate each other because they have social media. They can just lean into that.
Anjali, because your question is super big and deep, what I said, and I have some, and I'm sure Diana has some answers. I think your question is amazing, and we have the Q&A session in next week is our conversation with our expert speaker. We'll introduce her in a minute. All of you know her. And after that, we have the Q&A, and this is where we integrate the knowledge from this call. So I think your question is amazing, but I prefer if we sit with it and answer it like in a week or so.
Sure, that's fine. I
Yeah,
just wanted to
because
share that with you.
it's just it's very deep, and I think all of us will benefit from trying to answer a little bit. But
A
yeah,
beautiful question.
yeah.
So we have the Q&A session on the 25th, and next week we have the guest speaker.
Yeah, maybe the guest speaker.
And the guest speaker is Janet Philbin. So you know Janet, she's the advisor, one of the advisors in the Institute of Dr. Shefali. So she will be coming to speak on the topic that we have for this month, the relationships and the development stages. And then I think what Ale, you were mentioning in the beginning of the call is how can maybe too much love become a chain, or can mother's life ever become a chain for the child? So that would be kind of an angle that we would also ask Janet to talk to or to talk about. But yes, for the Q&A, it's on the 25th, so we can go even deeper in those questions then.
And for the Q&A, once you enter the community, once you're in there, when you log in, there is a library. It's very simple. Once you're in there, it's very simple. So there is a library, and into the library, there is a Q&A form. And you can try to put your questions, like the things that you want to discuss. And the Q&A, it's like more like private answering of your questions. So whatever you come up, we'll try to answer as many questions, and there will be no teachings, no new stuff. It will be discussing exactly what Anjali was asking. So
And coming back to what I said in the beginning of the call, we come back as a community of strong women who are helping and supporting each other. So the answers will come from the group. It will come from, of course, Ale and I will jump in, but I think we have so much wisdom and we have so many beautiful coaches here as well. So I think we will be kind of doing this together.
yeah, and soon, beginning of next week, right now you have the community chat, but we will probably live in the community chat only for our announcements, and we most likely at the beginning of next week we will have the Facebook group for you. So in this Facebook group you can put your questions and you can discuss between the members. You can give yourself advices. Please don't use the Facebook. We'll put some rules there. Please don't use the Facebook group it's really for connection, for sharing, not for advertisement purposes. Yeah. And we'll give you more information about other things that we are doing in the community. So only because for Adele, can you put please your email in the chat so that we are sure that you'll receive whatever information you might need? Because for Cynthia and Anjali, I know they're...
So I think we will also, we had this call starting at 4 p.m. CET. We are planning to start most likely the future calls an hour later, maybe not all of them, but you will see this in the schedule in the community page. So
4
yeah.
p.m. Central time?
That's CET, that's Central European Time. So Angela,
European.
you would be, what is it now? Is it 9 o'clock? East?
11.
Tiana, you have 6 hours difference with them.
It's 11. Sorry, I'm getting confused all the time with these differences. So it's 11 EST, but then it would be, if we start an hour later, that would be then 12 EST.
12 EST. Okay.
Yeah. It is. So just please pay attention to always what time zone, but we will put it, I think in the schedule it is in Central European Time.
Yeah.
So you need to convert.
So ladies, before you go, just give us one word. What are you living with? Where is your mind?
I will say peaceful.
Mm.
Beautiful. We have inspiration from Chrissy.
Curiosity.
Mhm. I love it. Mine was actually inspiration as well.
Yeah, I said beauty. I didn't think about it, but I guess this is what I come up with. And one more curiosity. Yeah. And Chrissy, I don't know if she can show up now or not, but some of you know her from the Global Conscious Parenting Summit. Some of you will just meet her. If she's not ready to come up right now, she can do next call for sure. But she's working with us with Diana, and probably she'll be the one messaging you some of the information that we want to share. You'll meet her for sure. So, okay, Chrissy, hi.
Hi.
Say hello. Oh, she's like always very beautiful and prepared.
Thank you. Yeah, hi everyone.
Good to have
Nice
you on the
to see
team,
you.
Chrissy.
Yeah, nice to work with you on this beautiful journey. Thank you.
And I think we have two other ladies joining a little bit later. So we have Mira and Jenna. But the recording will be available. So if you're part of the community, which I think you are, you should be able to listen to the recording.
Maybe they can put, okay. Okay, we have their information. Okay. Yeah, and I just want to introduce Chrissy a little more. She's a young psychologist. She's in the process of graduation, right, Chrissy?
Yep.
Yeah. So she's a huge inspiration for me to see like young people interested in the field from this age. I have a lot of hope when I see young people. Yeah.
Thank you. The inspiration goes both ways.
Yeah. Hi, Jenna. So thank you, ladies. I think I should stop the recording for sure.